most pro-life people who make it an issue to be pro-life, like vocally, tend to be more conservative politically. And so, the debates I've had with my, like I said, my progressive Christian friends is they say, well, what causes most abortions and what causes people to get them is poverty. So if someone can't afford a child, they are going to uh, possibly abort the child. So they say, well, and conservatives, like Republican conservatives, they would be for what? Lower taxes, not as many social programs that, they would say would, kind of lead to more poverty. I'm not saying those things happen. I'm just saying these are the kind of thoughts. And the people that are more Democrat or progressive, they're for higher taxes, more social programs, more safety nets that help impoverish people. So therefore, you will have less abortions under Democrat, presidents or government than you would under Republican governments, because you will be taking care of the cause or the root need for abortion, which is poverty. Most pro-life people who make it an issue to be pro-life, like vocally, tend to be more conservative politically. And so, the debates I've had with my, like I said, my progressive Christian friends is they say, well, what causes most abortions and what causes people to get them is poverty. So if someone can't afford a child, they are going to uh, possibly abort the child. So they say, well, and conservatives, like Republican conservatives, they would be for what? Lower taxes, not as many social programs that, they would say would, kind of lead to more poverty. I'm not saying those things happen. I'm just saying these are the kind of thoughts. And the people that are more Democrat or progressive, they're for higher taxes, more social programs, more safety nets that help impoverish people. So therefore, you will have less abortions under Democrat, presidents or government than you would under Republican governments, because you will be taking care of the cause or the root need for abortion, which is poverty. And so the whole idea is we can't just, pinpoint, one thing. We have to pinpoint the issue of why it's happening, and that's poverty, and take care of that. And we're not going to do it through Republicans. And on the flip side of that coin is is the fact that they claim that Republicans, all they do is give lip service to pro-life to get votes. So they don't
Yeah.
really do anything. They don't outlaw abortion. They don't try to overturn Roe v. Wade. They don't do things that you would consider someone who's pro-life to do. They're just trying to keep this thing going, this machine, this political machine going, trying to get our vote. But then what ends up happening is when they get into power, more abortions happen. So if I vote for a Republican, I'm actually voting for more abortions.
Yeah, they say that, but it's funny. You wouldn't have guessed that in this latest Georgia runoffs. My wife somehow got on the Planned Parenthood text and the emails and everything else, and it's Chicken Little. The sky's falling. Hey, we got to get the Republicans out of there because you know Trump and if you get this other Republican person in there, they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade, and look at all these particular abortion laws that Trump and others have signed and put in to make it harder for access for women to get abortion. So that they can't have both sides, because the left is at one time is saying you got to get the conservatives out of there because look at all the damage they're doing to the pro-choice cause, and so we need more Democrats in there. That way, and you got Biden promising he's going to do this order and that order and this, we're going to overturn and do all, redo all the issues that Trump caused on the pro-life thing. Well, what one is it? Is it they don't care and nothing changes if Republicans are in there, or we got to hurry and get the Republicans out because they're damaging, the pro-choice? You can't have both, right? What one is it?
Yeah, this idea that abortions rise under Republican presidents and fall under Democrat presidents is just silly nonsense. Snopes, of all sites, very very left leaning Snopes has actually debunked this claim. It's much more complicated than to just look at the numbers under each president, and we see the numbers of abortions rising, no matter what political party the president is. In fact, if you look at what Joe Biden has been doing, number one, Joe Biden, in his first day in office, signed a record number of executive orders. Some 27, I think, was the number executive orders. After proclaiming that only dictators use executive orders, and here Biden goes signing 27 of them on his first day, over 30, I think, in his first week. I might have the numbers slightly askew, but it was an insane amount of executive orders. And look at some of the executive orders he did sign. He reinstated the Mexico City policy, which sends American tax dollars overseas to organizations that provide abortions. He opposes the Hyde Amendment, which is an amendment that prevents federal tax dollars from going towards abortions, and he's trying to overturn that. He reinstated Title X funding and just all these sorts of things that Biden is doing. Biden is a president, but it's just absurd to think that a party like the Democrat Party that is so obsessed with abortions that they're out of step with the average American. The average American doesn't think late-term abortions ought to be legal, but the Democrat Party fight tooth and nail to keep all abortions legal anytime the woman wants it, and considers any sort of law passed by a pro-life state, or any sort of, if we just walk too close to an abortion clinic, like Devin was saying, they start saying the sky is falling, and they say that all we're trying to do is we're just trying to overturn Roe v. Wade, which is true. We are trying to do that, but if you so much as sneeze near a Planned Parenthood, it's like they're trying to say, oh, this is just an incremental step toward ending Roe v. Wade, when really all we're trying to do is just like a common sense legislation. Now, to be sure, we are trying to overturn Roe v. Wade in the political sphere. That's absolutely true, and we make no bones about that. But to Planned Parenthood, they get a lot of millions of dollars of taxpayer money, and they're able to lobby for these politicians. And so if they can continue to rally their supporters by saying everything we do is just a disguised attempt to overturn Roe v. Wade, despite the fact that some of the things we do are just trying to help women in crisis pregnancy, something that Planned Parenthood doesn't do. We're trying to help children that are born to parents who are struggling financially, these kinds of things. Even if we so much as just do that, to them, the sky is always falling, and they're able to rally their financial supporters and get more money sent to them. So this idea that under Democrat presidents abortion falls is just absurd, even on the face of it.